Okay, so let's break this down into different phases of how one goes about building a listing, right? So
Yes.
first thing you do is you go do competitor research, right? So you look at who else is selling the kind of product that you are selling. And
Mhm.
also alongside that, you have your customer avatar.
Yes.
And all you're trying to do is identify the kind of keywords that will drive your business. But why are we doing all this? And at the end of the day, when the dust settles, and this is what I've seen over and over, heard from many people over and over, that a good seller at the end of the day knows which 10 to 12 keywords are driving him business and
Yeah.
always goes after them, tries to make sure that getting the right kind of content and the right kind of campaigns running on them so that
Yeah.
he's getting the traction. It's all about keyword centric approach where what are those? So for a brand new seller, it's an unknown. So you go after a huge number
Mhm.
of keywords, then run your campaigns and then analyze the numbers and see where the business is coming from. And then you start optimizing from there. So that's the general process.
Yeah.
How does Cosmo factor into this?
So this I'm gonna explain the technical case why this doesn't matter anymore, and then we can discuss kind of maybe the reasoning behind it. But if you're using a large language model technology, which a generative AI, which Cosmo is based on, keywords don't matter, and the reason they don't matter is that LLMs, generative AI, is token based. So an AI will break down. An AI, works on numbers. It doesn't have words as input. It has numbers. So when you put in a string such as your keyword, let's say I'll take this, you know, black office phone, or whatever your long tail keyword is. What's happening when the customer puts that into search? What's happening with Cosmo is that it's going to break it down into for processing in its generative AI algorithm. It's going to convert that into tokens, so it's now numbers, not words, and then B is going to compress the tokens. So there's many reasons why AI models will compress tokens, speed, computational cost, lots of reasons why this happens. But basically, what you're putting into what the customer's putting into the search is not the same thing that the AI model is eating. The AI model is eating a compressed version of the tokens, and the tokens may be the full word, it may be parts of words, it may be two words. Like the way that the AI model maps tokens to words is not it's not a one-to-one relationship. So the one thing I can guarantee sellers is that on Cosmo, you're having some compression somewhere and some numerical format which is going in and then being layered on with all the other data about the customer, the customer, but their gender, their ethnicity, their location, all this stuff, which where they're trying to find the understand the intent of that customer search. So the keywords very very soon will not matter just by how the fundamental technology works.
So, okay, everything you described is, as you labeled it, technical, which does not really
Yes.
say anything.
Okay. Well, fair enough. But what I'm saying is that if you imagine you have this strategy in the past where you're saying, I'm going to take office phone. I don't speak. Do you speak another language, Nick? You must.
Yeah, my native language I speak, of course.
So let's imagine what in your native language, you're putting in office phone, into Turkish, and you're like putting those keywords into your listing as well. And some sellers do this, right? The tokens that you're working on, if it's the same language, probably going to be the same tokens, right? So you've already lost that if you're selling on Amazon Spain, the Spanish keyword, like it's gone because the AI is working in tokens, not working in language. So other things that, you know, maybe the AI has realized that black isn't an important, or maybe it thinks it is or it isn't important, but maybe like cordless, like all these kind of elements that you're putting in, you don't know how the AI is weighting that in the compression. But so the technical, my fundamental technical point is AIs don't work on a keyword basis. So actually, you're wasting your time if you're trying to, you know, get keywords to rank on an LLM. And a very easy way to prove this to anybody is if you go into ChatGPT, give it 20 keywords, try and make it come out with a context with those exact 20 keywords. It's going to struggle, and the reason it struggles is not how this stuff is built, right? So that's kind of point number one. Point number two is, like, as we mentioned, well, it's taking multiple other factors now into the search. It's taking in images. So A9 could never read images before. Now, Cosmo can understand images. It can understand the context of the image. So, for example, I'm wearing like a beige polo shirt. If I had listed this as a black polo shirt on Amazon, but the photo is a beige polo shirt, the customer types in black polo shirt, they're not going to get my one come up because the AI has understood that my one is beige from the image. So even if all the text is black, it's not going to show, which is different from how it works at the moment. You know, you type in or depending on when the customer's
Hold on
listening
a
to this.
minute. I want to say something. So okay, I understand the contextual search. So images are being translated into search. But at the
Yeah,
end of the day, what I heard you just say is if the photo of the shirt is beige and you are looking for a black polo
yeah.
shirt, this thing is not gonna come up.
My
How
point.
will
Yeah.
that I'm gonna type in
Mhm.
black polo shirt, right?
My point is, at the moment, well, depending on when the customer is listening to this, definitely if they're listening in Europe, well, most likely if they're listening in Europe and they're listening this week, Cosmo, they're, you know, you're still on normal A9, you're not on Cosmo, most likely, right? Because it's being rolled out slowly. Well, we don't exactly know how it's being rolled out, but it's being rolled out. So, you know, if you were to type into Amazon a year ago, black polo shirt, you're actually going to get a full range of colors because sellers will
Right.
be saying, I've got a red polo shirt, but I know black's a keyword. I'm going to bid on black. Or I've got a Reebok shoe, but I know Nike's a brand, so I'm going to bid on Nike. You know, I'm gonna bid on Nike. I'm going to put Nike in my description somewhere. Like all this kind of stuff, right? What's going to happen 6 months from now is that the AI is going to take in all these different inputs. You know, it's going to weight images. You know, it's going to have some weighting towards the images compared to just having the text. And therefore, it's going to be able to say, I'm only going to surface to the customer black polo shirts or Nike shoes or whatever the example is from not only understanding the text, but understanding the image. So that's another reason why keywords, you know, beyond the technical point that I laid out about how LLMs don't work in keywords. But the other point is there's many more inputs in the listing now, the visual inputs, which are going to be weighted into the output. And that's going to be as important as nailing your keyword. So you're going to want to have an image of your office phone in an office setting, if you're selling that, in order to give, you know, to show the AI that that is where, you know, your product belongs on that page rank with office phones. So having the keywords is no longer alone is going to be enough.